Saswata Guha has liked it or no. He's Director of Financial Institutions at Fitch Ratings. He joins us right now on the phone line from New Delhi. Saswata, good morning. Thanks so much for joining in. While this was widely anticipated, the fact that it has played out, what's your first reading into this?
Hi, good morning. I think certainly it's a move in the right direction. I would say that compared to the stance the bank has been taking in the past. Of course, I think what we also need to bear in mind is that some of these actions have come as a result of increased scrutiny. I think there was a second whistleblower complaint, and subsequent to which, obviously, regulators both in India and I believe abroad are looking at this issue a lot more closely. And I think the board, in its right frame, has obviously taken the decision it has taken. So, from our scheme of things, we have recently affirmed the rating. Of course, from our point of view, we will obviously wait for the outcome of the investigations, the various investigations that are currently being undertaken at the bank. But until that outcome is out, I guess, it's a positive move.
So a couple of people that I spoke to, Saswata, said that this effectively kills two birds with one stone. They've addressed issues relating to whatever you call it, corporate governance or business continuity, whatever you may, and it also takes care in the minds of people, if not actually succession planning as well at ICICI Bank. Would you read as much into this?
Well, I don't want to speculate in terms of what may happen, but if you had a chance to read our commentary, particularly the one which we put out after this whole thing started gaining steam, we certainly weren't happy with the way the board managed the whole affair, and we pretty much said it in as many words. But clearly, I think at this stage, and as somebody who's looking at these things from the outside, what appears at this stage is sort of the board itself has sort of got itself into a kind of tangle, because their own position on this thing was on this issue was very different until some while back, and today we have a situation where clearly the MD is now on leave until the independent probe is over, and this gentleman who's now the CEO of the bank is still is going to report to the current MD who will be on leave. So. Really, from an operational perspective, I don't know if it necessarily changes anything. But yes, I guess we'll have to wait and see, for things to emerge in terms of really if indeed Mr. Bakshi is likely to, take the reins of the bank eventually. But at this stage, I don't want to speculate on that.
Yeah, but during the period of a leave, he'll be reporting to the board. In effect, for the foreseeable future, he reports to the board. Saswata, the other question that comes in, and I agree we shouldn't speculate, but Chanda Kochhar's term comes to end in March 2019. Typically, these issues or these such of investigations, if you will, don't really happen in a period of 15-30 days, right? They take some time. So which is why I think my question was that whether or not this kind of takes care in the minds of people, the issue of succession planning. Nevertheless, I understand that you don't want to speculate on that. While this has probably happened to a lot of people's mind a bit too late, do you think this was arguably the best possible course of action that you, as somebody who's watching ICICI Bank, would have hoped for?
I think this was something that we would have, we would have expected the board to do in the first place. Clearly, obviously, the board stance was slightly different. But as I said, I think given the kind of increased scrutiny that the bank is undergoing from various corners, I think this was a logical move to take. Just coming back to your earlier question, I perhaps misunderstood the question, the way you had laid it. But let's put it this way: at the end of the day, leadership at banks need prior approval of the central bank. And given what's happening and what has happened in a couple of the other banks, and in light of the issues that this particular bank is facing, I would be very surprised if when that term comes up for renewal, the RBI goes all out and sort of gives an approval on that. But again, I don't want to sort of go all that far. But all I'm saying is that, given what the past has been in a couple of the other banks, we'll have to wait and see, because it's not going to be an open and shut case.